Hey, what's up? Nice, good to hear that. Hey, Emery.
Let's just wait for a few minutes for people to join.
Yep. Hey, Killer Pal.
Yeah, hello.
Hello, how are you?
I'm doing fine. What's up with you?
Nice. I'm alright.
That's nice.
Hey, Sasha.
Hey, I guess we'll just wait a little while until folks join in before starting.
Yep.
Um, in the meantime, if the two of you guys have any questions, you can always start and ask those. Light Edge, do you have any questions or Killer Pal? If anyone has any questions, feel free to unmute yourself and ask.
Which was your game, Killer Pal? Okay. Yeah, I just played both of your games, both Lead Age and Killer Pal this morning. Let me check my notes. I have some feedback for both of you. So, if you guys don't have any questions for now, I think I can give both of you, Little Age and Killer Paul, some feedback, and then if anyone has questions after that. So, starting with your game, Killer Paul, Village Under Siege, I think there are a lot of systems and a lot of potential, a lot of good ideas in the game, but there are two things that are what I think are the biggest turnoffs for me. First, it's the UI. There's a lot of information in the UI, right? And it's a bit raw. I think that you could spend some time making like a really good looking, even if there are a lot of systems, you can make type of an MMO styles UI. And I really think you should spend some time in the start of the game with some dialogue to explain those systems, right? With a small tutorial that guides you through all the interactions and through the main gameplay loop, and then you can set players free to play. I would also advise you to work a bit on the objects, on the art of the objects around the stage, like the rocks and the trees, and make sure to get the proportions to fit right with the player character and with everything else. So that's my those are my ideas of things you could improve during this next week. I'm seeing that he's typing. So after let's see. Okay, so what problem do you have with the UI? Usually, what I do when I want to get UI elements to be placed where I want them, I make drawings on Paint, like wireframes. So I put squares like on the top and like on the top right, top left, and I write like here's where the player stats will be, and I just make a very rough wireframe. But this way, I can look at your image and has a good idea of the position, right, that you want these elements to be in. If you put the
Another
asset
way.
in, oh, what's that, Sasha?
Sorry, go on.
Yeah,
No, no, go on, go on.
I was going to say that if you put the image in your assets tab, and then tell the agent to look at that image, he will be able to. So that's what I was. Yeah, that's what you asked,
The
and that was what I was complimenting.
the other way that I've managed to get, at least with 2D games, locations correct, and with 3D games as well, is to tell the AI to kind of create a grid or like coordinates around the screen. So like X and Y coordinates, and then I can just tell. So it writes like, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 across the screen on the top and on the bottom, or toward like vertically and horizontally. And then I tell the AI, okay, in grid 4, 3, I want this thing, or in this area I want this thing, or sorry, I don't know if I got cut off there. Can you still hear me?
Yeah, I think
Hello?
I also got
Yeah.
disconnected. I think everyone did. I don't know what happened.
Okay. Yeah,
Can you hear
so
me?
you heard the grid part of it, but so one option is this grid thing. The second thing that I've done is I've asked the AI to create like a scene editor kind of screen for me, or like a level editor screen for me, where I can click on different places on the map, and wherever I click it adds like a different element. So like if I click E, it'll add like I don't know, an elevator. If you click T, it'll add like a treasure box. If you click something, then it adds something. And so then that way I can like walk around my own map, or click on my own map and kind of keep adding elements, and then that gets saved, and that becomes the actual level. So yeah, there's like multiple ways you can go about it. We are working on kind of having a more visual scene editor. So those are like features that we do have in mind, but it's going to take a little bit of time to get those out. But yeah, in the meantime, like those are like I think three pretty solid options that you can go with. What resin suggested, as well as like the grid option, or like just tell the AI, okay, can you like note down these coordinates that I click on, and then this is where we're going to be adding these elements in.
Yeah, that's the level editor is a really good idea too. I really like doing that when you're making 2D games as well, right? And when you're trying to move like trees around and things around, that's very useful too. So for lead age, are you here? Just so I'm sure that okay, I see you typing. Okay, so for your game, uh, I have a few suggestions like for what it is right now, and I have one suggestion that might be a bigger change, but I don't know. I think you'll like it. So the first things I noticed when playing the game, I think that the performance is a bit weird in my notebook at least, right? Of course, it's not really a gaming notebook or anything like that, but I do think that due to the graphical style, it could be better. So I don't know if you asked the AI to work on this, to work on performance, but there are a few tricks that you could use. You could try to use some fog to hide objects. You could try to use imposters for on higher distances, for example. Uh, you could make the terrain round. So if you don't want to use fog, for example, you could make the terrain round or have this round effect or like this lens effect, and then you can hide and simply not render anything that is behind the terrain, right? Those are some, and of course, I think you're already doing this, but of course, destroy and get rid of all the objects as soon as they get past us, right? But I think that already happens, right, in your game. So that was the main thing on the performance side, and I do wish that the game was a bit more flashy. You know, I think it will really fit the art style of your game, like more particles around your ball, and bigger particles and some deformation like chromatic aberration when speed gets higher and things like that, and explosion particles and all that type of thing. Like make it very juicy in the visual side, like a lot of colorful particles would look really good with that art style. And something that I thought that is just an idea, you have a really cool song playing during the game, right? Did you ever think about making it more of a rhythm game uh, instead of just like an endless runner? Like you could try to take the song. I haven't really done this before, but it should be easy, right? Like put it somewhere and try to see the pitches or something like that, and then tell the AI like, let's make our obstacles to match the music, right? I think that would be really fun and would make the game very unique.
Yeah, you'd have to ask the AI to analyze. Well, I don't know if I've never tried with the Bali agent, but generally, wherever you got the song from or whatever, there are like a lot of tools online as well that can analyze the beats per minute or the beats per second of your song. And then, based on the speed of the beats per second of your song, you could put like obstacles and things in your game. Basically, that's how you would go about making like a rhythm platformer. The Yeah, beats per second is what you'll be looking for, the
Yeah,
term.
I think that would be awesome if you have the time to make this in the week. I think it would be really cool.
Hey, Resin Mahar, can you hear me?
Hey, yes, I can.
Yeah, I was thinking about my prompt. Okay, the first initial prompt, the master prompt, the one that builds the foundation of the game. Because I'm building like a Minecraft graphics. It's like Minecraft, but it's not Minecraft. It's like Crossy Roads, the mobile game on the mobile phone. Crossy Roads. So I was thinking, if you put mobile in the text for the builder, that's not going to actually necessarily confuse the builder, right? It's still going to make it in like that kind of style, even though it's a web game builder, HTML5, I believe. You're still going to have the game it's still going to build the game. It's not going to be confused by just saying I want it to be smooth for mobiles. And I don't
No,
know what's going.
it's not going to get confused. But Bali can make most games. flexible for both mobile as well as larger computer screens. So that should be
Because
fine.
what I want to do is I want to when I build it, I want to like convert it to mobiles and use a wrapper, a mobile wrapper, a game wrapper rather, which wraps web games into mobile games, so you can publish it to Android store, Apple, and because I just registered to be a Google developer, so I'm going to wrap the game into convert it into the mobile APK and AAB. But yeah, I'm just building the first prompt. But the only thing is, it gives me a 400 error. What is a 400 error? Does anybody know what that is? Because the error it's giving me something 400. It says provide the full 400 error. I get the choices, or I can restart your Bali Studio and rebuild it. I'm given three choices here. That's the three choices: restart your Bali, rebuild, re-import assets, and clear build cache, or provide the full 400 error response body. And I can try and get my AI to fix that. I can use Super Grok to fix that. I'm using Grok right now, which is like similar to ChatGPT, but it's just a different program. Grok AI. So I'm trying to. What should I do? Rebuild it or just try and fix the error? I don't even know what 400 is.
Just a couple of things, Daniel. Just on your first thing you said about wrapping it on as an APK, you can do that with most web projects, but currently in Jabali, you can't export the games out of the studio yet. We're planning this feature and looking into it, but just so you know that this isn't supported right now. So,
Okay,
yeah,
so the full source code exportation is not done yet. That's not
yeah,
done yet, no.
yeah, exactly. And the second thing, I think Sasha is really the right person to help on the build, but maybe I'm not sure if she'll have time to.
You can share my first prompt with her. You can give her my first prompt and see what she thinks. So that my first initial prompt, that like the master prompt, the first
Yeah,
prompt
yeah,
is the master prompt.
sure. Yeah, but would like to say is that this workshop we're doing is mostly for the finalists, or rather the shortlisted games from the March
Yeah,
Game Jam. So if you could wait to the end, and if Sasha has time, we can maybe
yeah,
you can share the screen, and we can look into
yeah,
it.
yeah. Do you think it's probably more complicated building like a voxel type Minecraft action, like a Minecraft game with action jump? That's kind of more complicated at first, I guess, than a easy game like Tetris. Tetris is much easier. It's a 2D game, and
Hmm.
Tetris is way easier to build Tetris than a voxel Minecraft style game, isn't it?
Yeah, it it should like one shot a Tetris game, um, most likely, but for a voxel game like you want to build like a Crossy Roads type, you probably need
Yeah, yeah.
to
The
iterate
Crossy Road
through.
is kind of complicated. It's not tons of mechanics in Crossy Road. It's like three, 4 to 5 mechanics max, maybe. But it's still pretty annoying for, I guess, just to chicken straight away into the builder with loads of, and each prompt is quite big as well. So I don't know.
Yeah, it should take a bit of iteration, but nothing too crazy. I've built voxel games with the studio,
Okay.
and it's very good at organizing voxels and making like forests or houses or whatever you want. So it
Yeah.
shouldn't be too complicated. We can take a look at it later.
The AI said also ChatGPT 5.2 is also very good, just as good or even better than certain things for Godot. How do you say it? Godot.
Hmm.
And Codex 5.3. What do you think of that? Is the AI right? Grok AI saying 5.2 excels in extra areas, 5.3 doesn't. Codex. I
Uh,
don't know.
uh, I'm not sure. Sasha is
I
probably better.
I quite like 5.3, honestly. I've been using Codex
Yeah.
locally for work as well. I actually like the Codex app, which I've
Okay.
been recently experimenting with. Uh, it really depends on what you're looking for, honestly. Like, I found different agents are better at different things in while making my game. So sometimes I like switch to like Grok for certain things. Sometimes I switch to GPT for certain things, depending on like if I'm doing art more or narrative stuff more. Like I find that GPT does a better job with the narrative of a story or a game. Uh,
Yeah.
and so kind of like switching and figuring out which models work better for you for different areas of your game is probably a good thing. Uh,
Yeah. Is this a bad idea? I set the reasoning from default medium to high reasoning. That's not a problem, is it? That's not wrong, is it? I didn't put
no,
extra high.
no,
Extra
I'm
high reasoning is probably not so good, but I put it from medium to high reasoning
right.
as
So
well.
we do give you in the settings of Studio, we do give you the ability to change the reasoning, change the I don't know if you've explored the settings scene. Have you looked at the settings screen in Studio for your
No, I
game?
haven't. No, I haven't
Okay,
done
so
that. No.
when you're in a particular game, if you go to when you're editing your game in Studio, in Jabali Studio, and you go to the settings screen, it'll give you the ability there to switch the model that you're using to like different modes and levels of collaboration or control, as well as like additional prompts that you can use and give the model that it will take into account for every edit that it does on your game,
Yeah.
as well as like the reasoning and so on. So there's like a little bit of fine tuning that we allow you guys to do from your side per game. So it's not necessarily for your entire user account, but you can set this differently for each game.
Do you guys
So
also have an option to share my project to you, so you can edit the project yourself or look at the project? For example, I can share it with Resin Ha, or I can share it with you, Sasha. So you can, because other companies, like when you build in mobile apps, they let you have the option to share the project. I've noticed in other platforms with no code platforms. So can I share my game to you so you can find the error in it for me? Can you do
uh,
that?
we can definitely help you debug the error a little bit if you want to share your screen. But in that case, I would say maybe we wait until we just I want to just make sure that nobody else who's on the call is like waiting on questions. So we can come back to you at the end of the meeting, and then you can share your screen and maybe the three of us can
Yeah.
help debug, because Alex is also here and he's done
Yeah,
quite a lot.
I could be like spending like an hour with ChatGPT, not ChatGPT, but like Grok AI as well. I could spend like an hour trying to send it the errors back and forth, and it might just end up wasting prompts, and I don't want to waste prompts. I don't want to waste all the prompts trying to fix a game in the first scene.
No, that makes sense. So let's start with let me check with Rehan and Light Edge and everybody at Killer Al,
Yeah,
and if everybody else is kind of done with questions that they want to answer, then we can kind of convert this workshop into a little bit of a debug session. You can share your screen. We can kind of show you how to go about debugging, maybe if there's things that you've not thought of, and that'll
yeah.
hopefully help everybody else here as well. But first, I want to make sure we get to everybody else's questions. So, I guess Rehan, do you have any questions that you want to ask, or do you want feedback on your game, maybe, or anything else?
Uh, Thank you, ma'am. Ma'am, I just wanted feedbacks on my game. Like, can I improve anything, or is everything okay with that?
What game is your game? Sorry.
I just shared his game in the chat, so you and Alex and anyone else that is interested can play. I played it this morning as well,
Oh my God.
so I already have some feedback ready. I think the main
Also, by the
thing.
way, is endless runners easy to make in this program? In your program in your program particularly, is endless runners easy to make? Like midnight runners, or midnight, what's it called, subway surfers. You can't make a game that intense, but similar to Subway, but not exactly like Subway. Can you make a decent endless runner as well?
Yeah, absolutely. Later Age made one in just a few hours for the latest game jam, and his game is pretty good. So yeah, you can definitely do that.
Do you think there's a specific AI model to use when building in Jabali Studio? For example, Claude AI, ChatGPT. When I'm talking not about in the studio itself, but outside the studio, just asking it questions in the program on my computer. Do you think there's a perfect one or not? Or not? Claude is pretty smart too. Claude does a lot really good prompts, I think. But I don't know if there's a perfect one or not.
Yeah, myself, I use Claude mostly if I want to write prompts or
Claude, okay.
debate ideas and things like that. But that's my personal preference. Like
Do you
since
know
it's
if exact version, the exact model version? Do you happen to use the Sonnet one, or is it Sonnet or
yeah,
Opus? Claude
so
Opus. Opus.
I usually use the web interface. So I use Sonnet 4.6. I used Opus a lot for coding, and it's amazing. But just for chatting, Sonnet is fine.
Okay.
It's really good.
Okay. I had two games in mind anyway. A voxel style action game, and I like an endless runner, but I don't know when I'm gonna do endless runner. Hopefully I can just accomplish the first scene of this voxel game.
Yeah, and you can always go back and forward with projects, right? It's not going anywhere, so you can start making the other one and then go back to this one. You have both
Yeah, yeah,
on your profile.
yeah.
So for your game, Rehan, I really like how it looks. Right, I saw it before you submitted. I think one thing you can really invest in the coming week is really get a good tutorial and onboarding for the mechanics as well, because it's not really a simple fighting game, right? So I think that having a first level with a tutorial would be really cool. And I would also like to see some more arena variations.
Yes, sir. I'm planning to add more arenas, and also I thought of like adding cutscenes to explain the game.
Yeah, that would be
Means
really
at
cool.
the start, in every arena there will be different fighting styles. So I thought of something like that. Uh,
Yeah, kind of like
and
those Mortal Kombat cutscenes that you get
yeah,
on the start of the
like
game.
somewhat like that. Yes, sir.
Yeah, that would be really cool.
And sir, like when is the final submission date? I was late, so I didn't knew.
It's next Friday. We will have another workshop for the shortlisted
Okay,
games on Thursday, and the
okay,
submission date is Friday. So you have 1 week to improve the game.
okay, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
One quick question: do you think a game should be structured in 8 prompts or 7 prompts from scratch, from start to finish, from beginning to end? What would you, is it any particular prompt, or really there's not particular prompts from all the layouts of all the game mechanics, the UI, the environments, and etc. etc.
Like the number of prompts.
Yeah, because I in the beginning, Grok said to me, Super Grok rather, it's Elon Musk's AI program. Elon Musk made it. It says like, I think the game will be the foundation can start off in 7 prompts, and then you can use more prompts to refine the game. That's what it said to me.
I don't think there's a hard rule on that. For me, each game I build is usually different. I really start like I said to you in DMs. I really like to send small prompts, so I like to start with the most complex thing I'll do in the game. If that's like the combat system, I just do the combat system with like squares and get it to be really good. So that alone can take like 15 prompts, for example, for that combat system. But the rest of the game can be done in like other 2 prompts. So there is really no way to say. I think you have to get into it, and if you prefer to do a big prompt telling everything about the game, that works too. But you definitely have to iterate on that. So I wouldn't count the prompts or count on a specific prompt
Yeah.
number.
Did you actually can you actually build probably a very basic Street Fighter, like, fighting game? You probably could actually build a very basic Street Fighter, couldn't you? Because that's the original Street Fighter was like 2D. The original Street Fighter.
Yeah, in my experience, you can build literally anything with AI. There's not a single genre
Yeah,
that you can't.
yeah,
It depends on how. For
yeah,
example, I launched the game on Steam, and I built it entirely on Cursor next
yeah.
last year. So, but
There's
as
one more AI builder, game AI builder you might love, besides Jabali. You might love it. It's not the Rosebud AI. Rosebud AI is another big company. Well, they're not so advanced. You're more advanced than Rosebud, but it's another company called Sealy AI. It looks really good. Sealy AI, have you heard that? Or Selly, sorry, AI. Have you heard that game builder?
no, I don't really know about it. Since I'm working on Jabalia, I've been
Yeah,
using it
yeah, yeah,
for the past 3 months nonstop.
yeah.
So, but yeah,
That's really good though. You got loads of models, and you got loads of different options for behavior. Right now it's on collaborative. There's one called autonomous, which I don't think I need to use at all. But yeah,
yeah. But if you see cool features on other builders
yeah,
and you think that we should get it here, feel free to give us suggestions. We're iterating
okay.
on the product constantly, and we we can do it all as long as it makes the games be better, right?
What's the best one you built so far? Just want to know, bro. What's the best game you built so far, bro? So far, new creations.
Probably Voxel Quest. I can send you the link in DMs later so you can take a look. And it's the
Yeah.
same style as your game, right? So I think you'll like it.
Okay, it's like you jump over the stuff. You're jumping over the road and stuff. You're jumping over these obstacles, yeah, like obstacles in a way, like like kind of crossy roads is. It's kind of like that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Hey, Imanri, do you want to answer the questions about the prizes and so on that are in the chat? Like you can just type in,
Yeah.
yeah. Or you can also just unmute and answer right here, and yeah, that's fine too.
Uh-huh. The price structure is what we had announced initially, since this is the March 2026 game jam, the GTC one. So it'll be $1,000 like we had announced.
You can't open the game code in Visual Studio. You do have to use Jabali Studio to interact with all the code and everything, because Jabali Studio, making edits in Jabali Studio is the only way for you to push to the Bali Git and so on. You do have access to the local code in your machine, but again, know that making edits to the code locally outside of Bali Studio is probably going to get a lot of conflicts and Git issues, which we've had some folks have in the past. So again, my suggestion is to just make all the changes through Bali Studio, just so that you know you can edit the code yourself. You don't have to make Bali write all your killer 3. We don't have to make You don't have to make Bali write all your code. If you do want to make code edits yourself, you can always open the text script files and like type in changes that you want as well. But yeah, all this edits should definitely be through the Studio application, not Visual Studio Jabali. Yeah, you won't be able to make commits yourself. That's the main issue. So yeah. So, Rehan, with respect to your question about multiplayer games, so if you have a multiplayer game in mind, Bali should be able to help you set it up from scratch. Note that we only have multiplayer activated in the Godot mode at the moment. So you won't be able to go with like a JavaScript or whatever phaser game with multiplayer. But if you start a Godot template game, whether 2D or 3D, and then inform Bali that you want to make it a multiplayer game, it will install those multiplayer plugins for you and set it up. Generally, we suggest that you also ask Bali to make something like a multiplayer lobby where players can join your game. So it'll kind of show you a code. It should automatically, if you ask it for a lobby, it'll kind of set up like a screen where people can join in your game. There'll be like a code or whatever that you're hosting, uh, that you can give to the other players who can then join your game. uh, I don't know if we have a tutorial for multiplayer yet, but we do plan on adding some more tutorials to the studio tutorials list, and maybe we can add a really simple one with like Pong or a card game or like a tower defense or something with multiplayer. But that should give you guys a little bit more to go on, so I can try to like get one recorded soon for the same. But yeah, if you just tell Bali to make a multiplayer game in lobby, it should do most of the work for you, so you shouldn't have to worry about it. It uses the
Thank you so
nano
much, ma'am.
on the back end. It's really easy to set it up. Just so you know, we only have one type of multiplayer game. So normally you have two types of multiplayer games. You have server hosted games and client hosted games. At the
Yes.
moment, we have just client hosted games, which means, say you were making a card game and you allow other people to join your card game, so you can create a new session or whatever, a new game that you want to create, and one of the four players or 10 players or whatever will have to host that game. So they'll be the host, and all the other players will kind of join that host. So we don't have a server hosted multiplayer at the moment. Hopefully
Okay,
that
ma'am.
your multiplayer questions.
I'm
Ma'am, and sometimes
just
when I use Godot. Oh,
okay.
okay, sir.
No, you.
I'm just sending in chat a video. This tutorial I made is about the art, right? But if you watch the video, you'll see that this is actually a multiplayer game I made when we launched the plugin. And these types of games, I think, are the easiest and faster you can build and iterate with multiplayer, like card games and things like that. Because of what Sasha said, that we don't really have a server, so doing something co-op like this and turn-based will probably work the best and smoothest. But you can build any types of games, and I think in this
One.
tutorial you can see a little bit how I built it. But yeah, we should definitely do something specific, like building a multiplayer game with Jabali. I think that's a good idea for a tutorial.
Thank you so
I
much,
was
sir.
asking,
By the way, I had a means problem in making 3D games in Godot. Basically, whenever I make games through Godot, the main problem comes out that a build means something like a build error shows up, and like when I rebuild the game, the problem means keeps on repeating numerous times.
So if you see build errors in your game, so we have two sets of logs at the bottom. There are preview logs and build logs. You can always ask, and Bali has access to both of them, so you can always ask Bali to kind of look at the logs and try to address the errors there. However, in case Bali is not able to figure out what's wrong with logs, you can always copy those logs into the chat and say, hey, can you take a look at what this error is? So that's
Okay,
one way
ma'am.
of the other way is I strongly encourage everybody here to keep publishing your game. Like every time you add like a couple of features or a new, I don't know, a new element in your game that you're really happy with, publish your game. That way you can always revert back to an earlier published version very easily, and multiple files get reverted back as well. However, besides that, when you do publish your game, you'll also be able to see additional errors that might happen in the JavaScript console of the browser. So you can always open up the JavaScript console in your browser of the published game and get a few more background errors that maybe didn't show up the first time and send those to Bali as well. So that's another way, like one more way of debugging. And then the final thing is, of course, you can just tell Bali, like, hey, I'm seeing exactly this is what I'm seeing in the words, because Bali on the back end of things has a list of all the types of errors and exceptions that we raise and show. And so if you tell it what error that you're seeing visually in text or whatever, it should be able to kind of follow that backwards and try to figure out where it's coming from.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you so much, ma'am.
hey, Resna, do you happen to have an A to Z guide on your YouTube channel, covering everything on Jabali Studio, specifically for the studio, of course, you know, the A to Z, well, A to Z, you know, there's essentials really for a beginner in the studio.
We usually have master classes, Daniel. I think we have the master class for the March game jam recorded, right? And I think that's a good start. Sasha goes through most of the basic features, right, of the studio, and I think we can also make something like that and turn it into a YouTube series with smaller videos, like 5 minute videos. I think that's a good idea too. But we have
We do
a lot of recordings on this.
Yeah, we do have those shorter videos as well as longer some of our masterclass videos on the Jabali Studio tutorial screen. So feel free to kind of go through those. Those have everything from like creating a really simple template game to like publishing your game, reverting changes, prompt engineering, designing game systems that feel good, and so on and so forth. And I think we're going to keep adding. There are a few masterclasses. You probably have links to some of those, but there are a few masterclasses that are missing from that list. But we should be able to add those to the tutorials really quickly. So maybe within a couple of hours, you should see a few more of those masterclasses in there. But
Do
yeah,
you
look
think
at
also I should keep my words to a certain limit? Don't post too many words per prompt, because or is there a certain requirement how many words I should post
no,
to the builder?
we don't have any such requirement. I know that for myself, for some of my games, my prompts are an actual game design document that I've given it completely, which has
Yeah.
everything from the UI to the UX to the AI to some code snippets that I want. So there's no limit on what the amount of prompt you can send. So feel
I was
free to
just
go.
I was just concerned I'm going to overwhelm the builder if I post like
No, you're
2,000
not.
words in one prompt.
You're not gonna overwhelm the builder. It's fine. I've definitely posted longer ones.
I just posted the link for the latest masterclass in chat, Daniel. You can take a look at Jabali's YouTube channel as well. We have more stuff there. And on my channel, I have these types of smaller tutorials, like more specific, like for game art and things like that. And I'll also keep posting things like that, and mostly game design things.
I wonder how long it takes for an indie dev to make an actual coded game. So I know Jabali's a non-code, and I can't code, but for somebody to make a game in Unity, how long will that take? Indie dev, one person, one developer, that'll take a long time or not? Or depends how good the developer is. I
If
never
the
used it in Unity, but Unity looks amazing. Unity looks really, really cool.
if it depends on the scope of the game, right? But usually a very small game and a very fast game that you want to publish takes like six
Yeah,
months if you are really fast and experienced.
yeah, yeah,
It's
yeah.
usually no less than 1 to 2 years. So
Yeah, because Unity engine is way easier to use than Unreal Engine. Unreal Engine is way more difficult, apparently. I never tried both, so I don't know.
yeah, there's a bit of contest there, but uh, I would mostly agree with that.
Well, one day I would love to make a Unity game and publish it on Steam. That'd be cool. One day publish it on Steam, a really good Unity game, but probably gonna take 6 months, of course, for a really good one.
Hey, Godot is as powerful or even more powerful than Unity in a lot of
In some ways, is
aspects,
it
right?
really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So you can you can actually do that with the studio, and it's a great engine and it's really AI friendly. So and you have a lot of big games coming out, not big in scope, but famous games
Yeah.
coming
Did you
out
want to
with
post
Godot.
anything yourself to Steam or to your Steam account? Did you want to upload your games to Steam for people to get in Steam, or you're not gonna do that, are you? Or are you gonna do that?
Oh yeah, definitely. The game I built on Cursor last year is on Steam. It was a web app game. I built it with Phaser, and then I packaged it to become an executable, and it's on Steam. And I'll definitely make more.
Yeah, I'm gonna watch this guide now. I might watch this guide later on or now actually. This masterclass. Thinking of watching it soon now. For sure, I need to watch it.
Does anyone else have any other questions that you guys want us to cover before we uh, wrap up? Especially if you have questions about the finalist games that you guys have made or anything else that you want to add to your games or whatever, we can try to get to those as quickly as possible.
I was just gonna show my. I can share my screen later on, like to show my error that I had in the first initial prompt. But yeah, if I do it here or should I do it after? Where should I do it? I mean, because I was thinking about sharing my screen to like show what was going on.
I think we can. You guys are cool. Killer Power, Rihan, Little Age, and Rihan. If you guys are cool with it, I think we already gave some feedback on your games, right? I don't know if Alex is still trying out some
Is
games.
still trying out. Yeah, yeah, I'm still here. Yeah, yeah. Let's see.
Oh, I actually didn't send Little Age's link, right? Let me send this.
Yeah, well, you basically free to send the full prompt in the chat. They said, "Do bro, you can send the full prompt and see what they think because they did cause an error. I don't know why, though. It caused that error. Yeah. Is this your build game, bro? Resna, is this your game? The Endless Ball Runner? 3D Ball of Endless.
Oh no, this is Little Age's game. Yeah, he made it for the last game jam. I just sent it in the chat so Alex can take and Sasha too. They can take a look and
What's the best games you've seen so far on the platform? Have you seen any really top games that are like Steam worthy and like just not just Steam, well, definitely Steam worthy and stuff? Have you seen any like really high end then? Let's say high end production. Have you seen anything like that yet? 3D wise in the 3D?
yeah, we usually our game jams, which is when we see the best games, are usually shorter, right? So we don't have really big games yet, but this is something that we're definitely trying to get, and
You think it's
we
gonna
have
be
some programs coming up
a second.
that are going to help
Hold on a second. I was just
build a bit more long term.
you think building a block game like Royal Match, which is on a Android store, a Google Play Store, is just going to be very difficult and very time consuming. It could take a long time to build. You need tons of prompts because that game Royal Match is really cool. To me, it looks cooler than the Candy Crush the way it's built. But it seems like it's got tons of animations going on, tons of animations, and it's really like tons of levels too. So I don't know.
Yeah, if you want to get to that level of polish, it's definitely going to take a bunch of prompts.
Yeah,
But
Royal Match looks. It's a fun game, but Royal Match looks. Yeah, it's a fun game, but it's like I can imagine how many prompts that would take to get it like a replica like that, and we take so many prompts.
yeah, but you can make something that you are happy with in a lot less prompts, right? You can get a working prototype and something that you really like and see the potential in less prompts. And then when you see the potential, it's easier to invest more days, weeks, or months to to get it to the level of polish that you want.
Has anybody built a TCG game, a collectible card game yet? I don't know if you can build them yet in this studio quite yet, or a TCG, a tradable card game. But most TCGs or like Magic the Gathering, whatever, they're all online. They're all multiplayer. So that's the only problem because they require a back end, like a decent back end like cloud or whatever. And,
Yeah,
yeah,
I
TCG
haven't
games, collectible card games,
I haven't seen
they do require.
one yet.
Yeah.
I have this card game that I made, this roguelike card game, but it's not really collectible because I didn't add any deck building elements yet.
If you want to play Legends of Runeterra by Riot Games, Legends of Runeterra, that's probably going to be very difficult to put into a builder like Jabali, but you probably could do it in Unity, of course, but it's in C++, I think, or C plus language. I guess C++. But yeah, Legend of Runeterra is a really good, cool game I used to play before, but I
Yeah,
don't know how you could do that in Jabali.
I was a master on that. I really love that game.
Yeah, that's more of a Unity thing, isn't it? That's probably more of a Unity thing because that's requires C language, C plus language.
Yeah, it doesn't really require any specific language.
Okay.
You can build any game in any language. Some just make it easier, but with GDScript, for example, on Godot, you can definitely build it, and it's as you can in Godot you probably can't build a really photorealistic game, but that's all. Every all the rest you'll probably be able to build it.
Yeah, I never use Godot, so I never gone onto the website of Godot or actually downloaded the software and actually use it straight up. I'm just using it for the studio. But I was gonna say about Godot, does it have like not just besides text to generation or text to prompt generation? Does it have the where you can attach an image and it can make the backgrounds or the characters based on the attachments? Or I don't know if you can. I just wonder if you can do that or if you can do that.
Sorry, can you repeat the question?
Yeah, I was saying we're building a game in Jabali with text to prompt. We're building a game text to prompt, but I wondered if like Godot Studio or the Godot Builder, which I haven't downloaded the Godot software personally and looked at the software, but can it do image to text? Sorry, text image to prompt to image generation. So if you attach a picture and you say, can you make this picture the character of my game or this picture to make the environment of my game, it will do that from based on the picture you attached. I wonder if it could do attachments and create things of attachments.
Yeah, this is really not about the engine itself, which is Godot, and more about the studio, right? And our studio can definitely do that. You can create images in the studio and get them inside the game. You can create the backgrounds. You can create images and use them as enemies or as props, anything you want. We will also have 3D generation in the future. So it the idea of the studio is to be all in one. You can choose the engine, the programming language and the engine you want, like Godot. You want to use Phaser, 3JS, and you have all of these other tools. You have the publishing, you have asset generation, sound generation, and everything like that. You can do everything in the studio. Also, Little Age, if you are around, you have some feedback from Alex in the chat, and I think Sasha is also typing it. Okay, I see you there.
Who is the best developer so far? You guys? Any of you builders build really good games so far? You're all good. You're all the same, are you?
We don't we haven't had an award for the best builder, but we have a bunch of game jams going on, and you can see the finalists and the shortlisted games, and those are definitely the most experienced builders we have with the experienced and talented, right? We have with the builders.
Obviously you said earlier you think it's possible to build a card game like Legends of Runeterra in Godot. It's definitely possible, but a very long time probably. A month or two, or even a few months, 4 to 5 months maybe.
Yeah, it's possible, and to be exactly like that, it will probably take longer. And I'm talking about the game look, right? I'm not talking about the back end to have a and massive multiplayer game like that with stores and purchases. I'm talking about just what we see, right? When we get in a battle, that should take months, or probably
You know the back
yeah.
end Superbase and Firebase, is that just for mobile applications only? It's not for games. For games you use Google Cloud backend, is it? Not Superbase or Firebase.
You
Or
can
can you?
you can use anything. It depends on the scope again, right? And
Yeah.
you can have games without a backend, just like the games we have with the
Yeah.
plugin. But
Yeah.
all of them work, but some are better for massive games. Some work for prototypes and game jam entries. And
For example, if the server load was a few hundred thousand players active, say you had a multiplayer game, but it was a few hundred thousand live on the server, then that's quite a big load. There must be a certain backend for that amount of people, that load.
yeah, I have no idea how that would be built.
That's if you go viral, of course. If your game goes viral, you get popular, you get viral. Say you go viral, and then your game goes viral, then you're gonna have to have a special backend then for that.
Yeah, yeah. That's beyond my anything I've ever saw.
Are you hoping for your games to go viral, right? You're hoping your game goes viral, of course.
Yeah,
I do think the best way to sell your game and publish your game is probably through Steam. Steam is probably a really good platform. There's probably other platforms I don't know of, or maybe I can find, but Steam seems the most reliable since it has millions already on the website every day. I just tested that ball game Village. It's pretty cool. I actually liked it. That was a good one. That ball one. I wonder how long it takes to get a game like the Crossy Roads, or like, kind of like more or less identical to Crossy Roads. I don't know how long that would take.
Hello.
Hey, Stealth, if you have questions about your finalist game or whatever, feel free to share the link to your game in the chat or ask and we can try to get to you.
Oh, all right. Thank you. Actually, I have raised a ticket because I got a mail from someone, and it had said that I must create a Jabali account for the premium access. So I raised a ticket on my Discord as well, just to ask, can I get the premium access now?
So, just to clarify, you are one of the finalists from the last game jam?
Nope. I just registered from itch.io for the first time.
I see. So if you've just started your Jabali account, you generally have like a free account or whatever. You can always upgrade your account and switch to a different tier. But I'm not. Are you
I'm
unable
sorry,
to
I
access
didn't catch that, Sasha. Is
your
it
account?
about the current game jam for this weekend?
Yes, yes.
You
Oh, I
can.
see. Okay,
Okay,
game jam. Okay.
you can open ticket stealth and share your information.
I just opened a ticket like a few minutes ago on
Okay,
Discord.
nice. Yeah, I'll get to that as soon as we finish the workshop. I'll take a look at it.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
Right, no problem.
Yeah, sorry, I didn't realize you were talking about a account for like this specifically for the game jam. Yeah, so start a Jabali account. Once you've made the Jabali account, share the email ID in your ticket. The email should match the email that you use to sign up for your Jabali account,
Okay.
and we should be able to give you premium access for the duration of the game jam.
All right. Thank you so much.
Resina, do you have any really good projects coming up? Any good projects, long projects, like any big games you have in mind?
Yeah, I've been working on the Voxel Quest game, which is my January game jam entry, but I'm thinking about starting a bigger project soon. I've been making a lot of smaller projects lately, but I think I'll focus on a bigger one.
Yeah. So when you build the game itself, you definitely use Claude, do you, to give you the prompts for the game itself? Because I'm using a Super Grok at the moment. It's like like I said before, it's the one that Elon Musk made. Is it Elon Musk's AI program thing? I have used Claude as well. I do use Claude. Not on a Claude Pro. I'm not on Claude Pro subscription, but I'm thinking of joining Claude Pro subscription. Is that what you use? You use Claude for prompting the game? Definitely Claude, 100%.
Not really. Just when I need a specific prompt, but usually I just write the prompts myself. Uh, yeah, I just try to be very specific with the prompts and just write them myself. Only when I need something that I
Yeah, I
really
shouldn't really
cannot
depend on
share
AI
with the
100%
AI.
for prompting. It is kind of lazy to depend only on AI to build it than instead of doing it yourself. But yeah, you should only go to, I think, AI for problem solving. I think for errors maybe. Then yes.
Yeah, or when I'm sure that I'm not expressing myself correctly, like I'm not making myself understood correctly, then I use AI a little bit.
By the way, have you actually heard about Rosebud AI by any chance? It's like I haven't used a company. It's another game builder, but I haven't even used a company. But I just want to know if you heard about it or what you've seen about them.
Yeah, I heard the name. I have never used it. but I heard it's a
Yeah,
pretty
I'm sticking to Jabali only. I'm only doing one right now, and this is Jabali only. But it's all I'm going to build on is just Jabali. But there is another company I heard of Rosebud. Yeah, it looks all right. It looks all right. I think this is more advanced though. I think Jabali is definitely more advanced.
Yeah, again, with respect to opening the game in Visual Studio, note that you do have to make all the changes through Jabali Studio, and editing the game directly is definitely going to corrupt the Git a little bit, which takes a lot longer to fix. So, yeah, again, I would caution to use Jabali Studio to make any edits to your game, even though you do have access to the project locally on your computer as well. Anyway, that was just answering the chat conversation. If anyone, Stealth, do you have any other questions, or does anyone else have any other questions? Because otherwise, we've kind of come to the end of our 1 hour workshop Q&A session.
Nope, I'm fine. Thank you for
Okay,
asking.
so if nobody else has any questions, feel free to post any other questions that you might have to the Game Jam chat channels, and or of course you can always raise a ticket, and someone will get to you as soon as possible and try to resolve it.
Yeah,
But
before we go, I also wanted to. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
no, go on, Alex.
Yeah, I was going to add on the topic of like opening it in Visual Studio. Yeah, like Sasha said, I would definitely not recommend it. Like the only reason I would open it in Godot is if you really want to like modify, like fine tune UI by yourself, or maybe like debug an issue, like put a breakpoint. Although there are many ways of doing it through AI, which is going to be like probably way faster and way easier than you doing it yourself, right? Like you can always ask AI to add log lines. You can even have it like temporarily output some debug lines to show on screen and stuff like that. I would open it in Godot editor as like last resort, and the third party editor I don't even know why I would open it for with the third party editor. So yeah, that's what I wanted to.
Okay, yeah. If anyone has any other questions, feel free to post the questions in any of the Discord channels. You can tag any of us here. So that's Imanri, Alex, who's AK hyphen Jabali, me or Razin, and you can always tag anybody actually, honestly, from the Jabali team. And we'll get to you as soon as we can. Thanks for joining us, everybody. I hope we answered most of your questions today. And we do plan on having more of these Q&A sessions, and maybe a few debug sessions as well, in case people do have uh, questions or would like to see like live debugging on one of our projects and so on and so forth. But yeah, thanks for joining, everybody. Have a good day, and have fun creating your games.
Thank you guys.
Later,
See
everyone.
you around.
Yeah, Rihan,
See
you
you.
can send me a DM and I'll answer that. Later, everyone.